It saddens me to hear some of the really ugly and hateful words that come from the left side of things. And yet they love to label us words that are applicable to themselves and not to us, such as hate mongering, bigot, prejudice, divisive. These are all the things that them and their DEI and their identity politics, racial, systemic racism. Remember the buzzwords? And the reason why that has been effective is because if you say something enough, even a lie becomes truth if you hear it long enough, but it still is a lie. And instead of us, because I minimally scrolled today and I heard some lives where people were going in, you would have thought that they sacrificed some of these people's firstborns. And they are just going in. Trump, he's a billionaire, and him and his billionaire friend Elon, they're just trying to take more from the black people. Wait a minute. Or from the American people. But that was not discovered about them, but it was discovered about the Democrats and the Democratic Party and the very fictitious entities that they created in order to funnel monies of the American people. See, with them, it's all about projection. If you project it on them, if you gaslight, if you lie, and if you're repetitive in that lie, then people will believe you and you'll get your way. But what is their way? A socialism inside of these Americans? Here's the thing, we're even complaining, those on the left, they're complaining capitalism and the patriarchy. Remember that, the patriarchy. That is so dumb. But yet, you're the same people who really cannot identify what is a woman. So, at least with the patriarchy, which I'm for, I'm pro patriarchy. I'm pro America first. I'm pro President Trump. I'm pro Christian values. I'm pro American operating on the Christian values that provided them the freedom to even speak the nonsense that they're speaking. It's delusional and it's upsetting to see. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to be evil, catty. I could be. I put away those claws at least a decade or so ago. I could be, but I'm not. But I'm saying this because it's sad. Because they rely on giving you buzzwords and you become their disciples. And that's the Democrats, that's the left. They give you buzzwords by way of the paid media. They frame a narrative. They sell it to you because you're hearing it on 20 different networks. And if MSNBC and ABC and CBS and CNN, if they're all saying the same thing, then it's got to be true. But we just learned they were paid by the government left. So I guess it wasn't true, right? But see, that's been their strategy. And it's been effective for all these years, that if they could frame a narrative, make it repetitive to you, you're to accept it as truth. And then it begins to become viral because we're telling it to one another and we're believing the lie narrative that they had projected. And then you become so engrossed in believing this that you begin to battle people who's trying to say, no, this is a cliff you're about to go down. No, this isn't. You got to the point where we're asking, what is a woman? We never had that question at any time up until about 4 years ago. Just saying. We've been around for over 200 years. But 4 years ago, a new dialogue came into play. And all these buzzwords, let me just end here, because delusion is going to be delusion. And I remember back in 2014, 2013, Because remember, I'm on the assignment in terms of being a traveling intercessor in an itinerary a minister. And I had to study this. I had to pay attention to this for intercessory reasons. And it's so interesting how the group, I'll just call them that, how the group were like, we don't want to do anything but just live, and we want the same rights. We want to just be accepted. That was the narrative. But once and there was like, we don't like labels. That's what they said. Y'all don't remember that? We don't like labels. We don't want to be labeled. But we were like, okay, so what are you into? Since you're making this a discussion, which should never be a discussion, by the way, but here we are. And so we're like, okay, so what? Oh, we're not into labels. We don't want labels. Just don't. That's what's wrong with you. You're giving us labels. That's what they told us back in 2011, 2012, 2013. Once 2015, June 2015 happened, and it became a federal law by way of a ruling, Supreme Court ruling, that same-sex marriage is in the 50 states, is acknowledged in all 50 states. Then it turned into labels put on us. All of a sudden, we became cisgenders. What's the new one? Oh gosh, if you know this, put it in the chat, but I'm going to try to describe it. It was very new. It was, oh God, inseminated persons in terms of women or mothers. The inseminated person, something like that. What the heck is that? Now, 10 whatever years ago, we don't want labels. We don't like labels. It's not labels. Now we have labels that we can't even keep up with. Under the Biden administration, we had to figure out, respect the pronouns. What the world? And then it's the pronouns that you decided on any given day. They don't like labels, but they came up with like about 80 different genders or something. I don't know the exact number because it's ludicrous. It's delusion. And then they started attacking women. You're cis women. No, I'm a woman. Even when I don't feel like one, even when I'm tired. And what I mean don't feel like one is I'm stressed or I'm overworking, because God made man and women, and men made everything else. God honors what he created and what acknowledges him as Lord. But you creating your own version of whatever it is, and then saying God is okay with it, is blasphemous and is wrong, emphatically wrong. And so I just come to the realization that those are the people that you don't need to spend that much time with, because when they're ready for the truth, they'll be ready for the truth. But until then, they're going to fight you tooth and nail, because there's nothing you can say to change the way their brain has been programmed by a system that is looking to not only divide us, but to conquer us as a free nation. They want us the opposite of what we've been. We've been flourishing. We have troubles. We've had a troubled past. Get that, understand that. But we are free. We've been prosperous under the patriarchy. We've been prosperous, moreover, under Christ. We've been profitable, one nation under God, indivisible. When we acknowledged and adhered and revered that, we were prosperous. So, make America great, or make America great again? Absolutely. I concur, Mr. President. You have my full support in prayer and intercession. God bless you. You can drop your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me. God bless.